Hi guys, welcome to another learning support video. Today we're going to be speaking about more the economics and business side of schooling, guys. And today we're going to be kicking it off with something called price elasticity of demand, guys. And what price elasticity of demand is it is the extent in which the quantity demanded is affected by a change in price, guys. So it's basically calculating is that if we decide to change our price, we're going to decrease it by 10%. It's basically helps us determine how much is our quantity going to change in percent then, guys. Is that if we decide to decrease it by 10%, how much is our quantity going to increase then by? Okay. A good way to remember this, guys, the more elastic the demand, the more the quantity demanded will change with a change in price. Okay, guys, so this is a concept that a lot of guys struggle with, is because there's a little bit of differences, is that especially if you math, you'll see when I go to the formula now, is that if you're a mathematician, this concept might be a little bit difficult to you. But a good way to remember is that look at a Play-Doh ball versus a shot put ball, guys. Is that a Play-Doh ball is very inelastic, is very elastic, and you can stretch it and you can change the shape of it as much as you please. But then if you look at a shot put ball, guys, it's very inelastic, very hard, guys. Even if you're the strongest person on the planet, guys, you probably won't be able to bend this ball or change the shape of it at all, guys. So that's inelastic. So we need to think about these problems the same way, is that if it is elastic, it means is that a small change in price is going to change the quantity demanded by a lot. So a small little bit of pressure onto the Play-Doh ball is going to change the whole shape of the Play-Doh ball. Whereas if it was inelastic, that small little push on the 5 kg ball is not going to change it at all, guys. So the quantity demanded is not going to change by that much. And then the last thing to remember is that it'll always be negative, guys. And this is due to the fact that it is a negative sloping curve. So if you increase your price, your quantity demanded is going to decrease. Okay, guys, we'll go into that more as we do our examples, but let's have a look at what the equation is first. So, guys, price elasticity of demand, or PED for short, is equal to the percent change. That's what that triangle is there, guys. It's the symbol for change in quantity demanded over the percent change in price. And what that basically means, I put it on the graph here, is that if we decided to change our price from P star to that point there, guys, how much, so we go along to our graph, how much is our quantity going to decrease by then, guys, if we decide to increase our price by that much? Okay, so the best way I feel to look at these is to look at an example, guys, and let's look at it here. So Billy from Billy's Bread decreases the price of his bread from 12 Rand a loaf to 10 Rand. This causes a 10% increase in demand. What is Billy's Bread's PED, guys? So this question, although it looks pretty straightforward, actually has quite an important extra step in that I want to make very important to you guys, is that when we are using the PED formula, guys, is that it's in percent change in quantity demanded over percent change in price. And here in this example, although they gave us the percent change in quantity demanded, they didn't give us the percent change in price. They gave us the change in price in rands, guys. So now, before we can work out our PED, we first have to work out what is our percent change in price. And to work that out, guys, we go percent change in price is equal to the P new, or the new price, minus P old, the old price, over P old, the old price, times 100. Okay, guys? So that makes sense. This is an equation that you guys should be very familiar with, guys. It's very, very simple. You're going to use it a lot, guys. So if you haven't seen this equation before, learn it. You guys are going to be using it a lot. Okay, and then if we substitute our values, our new price is 10 Rand, so we go 10 minus our old price 12 Rand over 12, because that's the old price, times 100, we get negative 16.6%. So now that we have both of our percent changes in percentages, now we can work at our PED, guys. So we put it in, PED is equal to percent quantity demanded over percent change in price. So PED is equal to plus 10%, because it's a 10% increase. So that's why it's a plus in demand. So plus 10%. and then you put it over minus 16.6% because that was the percent change in price that we calculated, and you get a value of negative 0.602. Okay, guys, that's very simple, but what does that value actually mean? What does that negative 6.02 actually help us with? Doesn't seem to help us a lot, but it actually tells us quite a lot about it, okay? And you need to learn these off by heart because this is what that value actually tells us. And these are the types of PED. So when your PED is equal to 0, this is something called perfectly inelastic, guys. So it's because your quantity demanded is basically not going to change no matter what you do to the price. So that's why it would be, it has a value of 0, is because if your quantity demanded is not changing, your percentage change in quantity is going to be 0, and 0 over anything is 0, so your PED is equal to 0. And it is just a straight line, guys, up on our graph, guys, is that because the quantity is not going to change. Remember, it has to move along this line, and the quantity is not going to change. So if I could make the price R1,000,000, or I could make the price R1, the quantity is still going to be that set amount, guys. Something very important, guys, this one here and this one here, when we get to it, perfectly elastic things, are really not found much in real life, guys. It's very well and nice in theory, but there are very few products that actually show these type of properties, guys. Okay, let's move on. The next type, we have a PED between 0 and 1. This is an inelastic PED, guys. And what that means is that a big change in price is only going to cause a small change in the quantity demanded, guys. So basically, no matter what your change in price is that it's going to cause a smaller change in quantity demanded. I know I said that the PED is always negative, guys, but I decided to just take away the negatives when showing you these values, because you'll see later on when we start working with price elasticity of supply, income elasticity of demand, and all that type of stuff, they use these same PED equal to 0, PED in between 0 and 1, and you'll see they mean the same things later. It's just they are not negative, but we'll get into that later. So remember, is that value there, even though it's negative 0.602, it's still inelastic because it's between negative 0 and negative 1, guys. Okay, so that's an inelastic price elasticity of demand. Okay, the next type, you get a unitary elasticity, guys, and this is basically the nicest one that you'll find, is that whatever your price is increased or decreased by, your quantity is going to be increased or decreased by the exact same amount. So if you have a 10% increase in price, you are going to have a 10% decrease in quantity. Okay, the second last one that we're doing is when your PED is greater than 1, guys. This is your elastic demand, guys. So this is when a small change in price is going to cause a big change in the quantity demanded, guys. So, for example, a 10% change in price can cause anything from a 11% change in quantity demanded to 100% quantity demand, guys. It can be, as long as it is more than the percent change in price, guys, it is an elastic demand. Okay, then the last one we have is PED is equal to infinity. So your change in price is equal to 0, because remember, anything over 0 is equal to infinity. This is a perfectly elastic demand, guys. And what that basically means is, guys, is that no matter that your price is basically going to be kept constant. And if your price kept constant, that can cause any change in quantity demand, guys. Again, these are very rare. Don't spend too much time learning about perfectly inelastic and perfectly elastic, because as I said, these are not real products, guys. Like, they can exist hypothetically, but they generally don't, because like in general, demand doesn't work that way, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video from Learning Support, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.